And Indiana has done it. Their first ever Commissioner's Cup championship, knocking off the Minnesota Lynx. This is Howard setting up McDonald, knocking down the tray. Finds it cutting McDonald, easy dude.
You won't believe what the Indiana Fever just pulled off. Without their biggest star, Caitlin Clark, sidelined and seemingly abandoned by veteran DeWanna Bonner, they went up against the WNBA's most dominant team, the Minnesota Lynx, led by MVP frontrunner Napheesa Collier, in a Commissioner's Cup matchup everyone expected them to lose badly. But instead, the Fever delivered a gritty, unforgettable performance powered by Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and Natasha Howard, flipping the entire narrative with sheer heart and hustle. And after the game, Caitlin Clark summed it all up with just 6 powerful words that captured exactly why this win mattered so much. Picture this. The Indiana Fever stepped into the Target Center for their first ever Commissioner's Cup final with a roster hanging by a thread. Caitlin Clark, their sophomore superstar who had carried them all season, was sidelined for the 3rd consecutive game with a nagging groin injury, and this wasn't just any absence. Clark was their leading scorer, their floor general, and the reason arenas across the country were selling out.
Caitlin and her status, just how did she look? How did she feel today during shoot-around? And is she making progress and getting closer playing?
She's making progress. She's making progress. You know, I think, again, top of mind, I think I told you this afternoon, is just long-term. You know, making sure that we don't have any setbacks. You know, making progress and feeling good are 2 different things, and we want to make sure that she feels good. We want to make sure that she's confident. We want to make sure that we're not putting her in a position to have any setbacks, and that's the priority.
But that wasn't the only setback the Fever were dealing with. Damaris Dantas was thousands of miles away competing in the FIBA AmeriCup, leaving yet another major hole in an already thin rotation.
Listo. Hey Fever, love, I miss you.
Then there's the DeWanna Bonner situation that shocked everyone. A seasoned veteran brought in during the offseason to provide leadership and stability. Yet after just 9 games, she abruptly quit on the team and was waived, walking away at the very moment her teammates needed her most.
DeWanna Bonner was brought in for leadership. She was brought in for leadership. And do you want to know all that these young players learned from her? If things don't go your way, refuse to show up, continue to get paid a max contract while you are sitting out, refusing to play.
She got benched, she couldn't handle it, I want out. She's not playing well, she's getting criticized, I want.
Now let's talk about who they were up against. The Minnesota Lynx weren't just good, they were dominant, entering the game with a 14-1 record as the best team in the WNBA, reigning Commissioner's Cup champions. And playing in front of a sold-out home crowd led by MVP frontrunner Napheesa Collier, Las Vegas had them favored by 14 points, and analysts had already written the Fever off before tip-off, calling it a guaranteed blowout and claiming Indiana didn't even deserve to share the court without their stars.
Look pretty flawless, you know, in the way that they're playing. I don't know if different is the word as much as they look even more connected. You know, they're a team that was connected a year ago, but really the nuance of having each other's back on the defensive end, of knowing where your teammate's going to be, you know, discipline to coverages, the connectivity that they have on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, the way that they move with and without the ball, the way that the ball moves makes it really tough to cover. You know, I often say that offense is like a dance, and they are flowing, man. They are making music, and there's no doubt about it. So we have to try to be disruptive, and we have to try to take them out of that.
Here's where it got really brutal for the Fever. This was supposed to be their breakthrough moment, their first ever Commissioner's Cup final appearance, but everything that could go wrong did. Key players were out, their momentum had vanished, and the pressure was suffocating with critics ready to tear them apart at the first misstep. They entered the game like David facing Goliath, only this time David had a broken slingshot and half his army had already walked away. Here's where it got really ugly. the Fever without Caitlin Clark looked like a completely different team, having lost 3 of their last 5 games heading into the Commissioner's Cup final, often blowing double-digit leads that should have been easy wins. Their offensive pace slowed to a crawl, the rhythm that made them dangerous vanished, ball movement disappeared, and players started playing hero ball instead of team basketball. You could see it unfolding in real time as they forced up contested shots instead of making the extra pass, tried to take over solo instead of trusting teammates, and ultimately looked nothing like the Fever squad that had been thrilling fans all season.
Which is your first season with this batch of players, and so I'm just wondering if the Commissioner's Cup is just a stepping stone for greater things to come.
Well, I hope so. But at the same time, we want to take care of business now, right? That we want to win a cup. So we're not looking at it necessarily as a stepping stone. We're looking at it as an opportunity to win. And then we're looking at it, as coaches, as an opportunity to continue to stack days. We haven't had a lot of consistency in our lineup, and so we haven't really built that camaraderie and connectedness that we need in order for us to be successful. But we can take another step towards growth, another step towards consistency on the floor, in execution, in energy level. We're playing the best team in the league right now, and we've got to come out and we got to play our A game.
Let's talk about Aaliyah Boston, one of the Fever's most dangerous weapons, but without Caitlin Clark on the floor, she wasn't getting the touches she needed to dominate in the paint. Boston thrives when she gets the ball in her spots, but her teammates weren't finding her. She'd establish position down low, call for it, and watch as guards settled for contested perimeter shots instead, and the frustration was written all over her face as the team's identity unraveled without their floor general. Clark wasn't just a scorer or assist machine. She was the one orchestrating the offense, keeping the ball moving, getting everyone involved, and without her, they looked completely lost on both ends of the court, while opponents adjusted their game plans accordingly, locking in on Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston without having to worry about Clark tearing them apart.
What are some of the keys that you see as to how exactly you're going to do that, or what you guys need to do to approach the game successfully?
Yeah, I think we've got to be disruptive. We've got to make sure that we play with a level of physicality that doesn't allow them to just pass the ball around where everywhere that they want to pass it. So we've got to make sure that we're disruptive. We got to make sure that we're elite at our on-ball screen defense. This is a team that reads really well, that moves really well. We got to be elite at the point of attack on on-ball screen defense. We've got to. We always talk about guarding our yard, being able to guard one-on-one so we're not in rotation early. I think for us it's going to have to start on the defensive end of the floor so that allows us to get out and run in transition as well. But we can't allow them to just do exactly what they want to do on the offensive end.
Anyone else? Coach.
This Commissioner's Cup game became a true moment of truth for the entire roster. Could they find a way to play winning basketball without their best player? Could they reconnect with the ball movement and team chemistry that had made them special? And that very struggle made what happened next all the more incredible.
Coach Stephanie White has a motto. She says, pressure is a privilege. You came into the former champion's house and took them down on their home floor. How does it feel to bring Indiana their first championship?
It feels great. We knew that we had to come in here with energy. We know that they're a great team and they were going to go on runs. And so for us, it was about containing those runs and then going on our own.
Head coach Stephanie White has a motto: pressure is a privilege. And when asked how it felt to walk into the reigning champion's house and take them down on their home floor to bring Indiana its first championship, the response was simple: it feels great. We knew we had to come in here with energy. We knew they were a great team and would go on runs, so for us, it was about containing those runs and going on our own. What happened next will give you chills. The Indiana Fever chose to write their own story, and from the opening tip, you could see something had changed. This wasn't the same team that had struggled without Caitlin Clark. They came out firing on all cylinders, determined to win one for their injured superstar.
Gave you the confidence to come in here and take down this team on their home floor?
We knew we were capable. God has equipped us. And so for us, about coming here and doing what we know what to do. I think the entire game, coach just continued to instill that confidence, continue to tell us take it one possession at a time, and we did that.
The game plan was obviously to wall off the paint against you and Tosh, but both of you guys finished with double-doubles. How did you guys get freed up? And for you especially, how'd you get going late in this game?
It started with Tosh. Tosh, that entire first half, and even that entire game, just really took it to them, made them have to guard. And so with her attacking from different angles, they had to space out a little bit. And that fourth quarter, I was able to score.
And finally, Aaliyah, what are you going to do with your prize money?
That's for me to go.
Congratulations, lady.
Kelsey Mitchell stepped into the spotlight and completely took over when it mattered most, attacking the basket early in the first quarter against the Lynx and immediately showcasing her offensive firepower. She worked relentlessly to create space beyond the arc, where she was lights out, hitting 41% from three-point range, and her quick release became an unstoppable weapon, yet nothing felt forced. She was simply playing her game at the highest level.
Corrals it, out to Cunningham, in the corner, got the three. Indiana on top.
But here's where it got really exciting. Aaliyah Boston finally started getting the ball in her spots and dominated just like everyone knew she could, finishing with a huge double-double of 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists, going head-to-head with all-star Nafisa Collier and more than holding her own. Her confidence grew with every possession, and after the game, she showed her leadership, saying, "Everyone is important. I think everyone really played their role. We really handled that fourth quarter." Then came Natasha Howard, who delivered an MVP-level performance that caught everyone off guard and shifted the momentum of the entire game, earning Commissioner's Cup MVP honors with 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals.
Howard finds it, cutting McDonald, easy deuce.
Beautiful read by Natasha Howard. And Ari McDonald, that opened up the three-point shot.
Howard to steal. Open floor in front of her, got the lay. Indiana battling.
This crowd is quiet. Natasha Howard is a former Defensive Player of the Year, knows the ball is coming to Nafisa Collier, just gets that deflection, gets going in the open court, and it is all Indiana in terms of the momentum in this game right now. This building is...
She went a perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line, showing ice in her veins under pressure, and her defensive intensity was just as crucial. Guarding Nafisa Collier, she forced tough shots all night and racked up 5 turnovers, delivering an absolutely dominant performance right when the Fever needed it most.
It was a team effort tonight, but with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists, your MVP is Natasha Howard.
Sophie Cunningham brought the fire the Fever needed off the bench, delivering a huge spark with 13 points and 7 rebounds, including 3 clutch three-pointers that helped fuel a comeback from an early deficit, and her energy and shot-making had fans going wild.
Gives it up to Mitchell. Mitchell. Over to Cunningham, long range, bottoms. Big time trifecta, Sophie Cunningham.
Lexi Hull stepped up with major contributions that proved she belonged on this stage, refusing to let the moment slip away, while new signing Ari McDonald made an immediate impact as well, chipping in 12 points and delivering the exact spark the team needed, with her return to the roster coming at the perfect time.
Finds Hull beyond the arc, his score. Holson with the trifecta.
And that's how you do it.
Over to Cunningham, long range, bottoms.
A joint effort across the board. Everyone on this roster did their part tonight.
The team suddenly rediscovered how to play together, moving the ball with purpose and precision. 5 players scored in double figures, showcasing a balanced attack, while their defense turned suffocating, holding the Minnesota Lynx to just 39 points over the final 3 quarters and 34.9% shooting overall. The momentum briefly shifted when the Target Center crowd roared as the Lynx cut the lead to 7 early in the fourth and forced a timeout, but the Fever responded instantly, with 2 baskets from Boston and another from McDonald, shutting the door on any comeback and refusing to let Minnesota back in the game. The final moments revealed a team with true killer instinct as they closed out a stunning 74-59 victory, shocking the basketball world, proving that heart and determination can conquer any challenge, and delivering not just a win, but a statement that changed everything.
Coming into this, you talked about so much, hey, you got to have the right approach, don't trick this off, like have the focus. Take me inside that mindset of you guys coming into this game and how tonight was just a collective effort that got it done.
I describe this entire experience as a gut check experience, and I mean that intentionally. I mean physically, mentally, psychologically, it was a gut check moment today, and I think for us, it was about making sure we won those moments that mattered. And I thought down the stretch of the game, we did an unbelievable job of just staying together, weathering the storm, and kind of utilizing what we needed to based on our schemes and our personnel from practice. And I thought down the stretch of the game specifically, we bought in. All 5 of us, whoever was on the floor bought in, and I think you guys got to see that.
But here's what really happened. After the game, Caitlin Clark dropped 6 Words that explained everything. Despite being sidelined with a groin injury, she remained a constant, visible force on the sidelines throughout the entire Commissioner's Cup final, cheering on her teammates, offering advice, and staying locked in on every possession, with the WNBA's social media capturing her focused, engaged demeanor that showed just how committed she was to the team's success even while unable to suit up. Everyone was waiting to hear what Clark would say about this stunning upset, and as the cameras followed the team into the locker room for their celebration, what came next was pure gold. Guys, I just know everybody in the league is sick, Caitlin Clark said during the Fever's electric locker room celebration, repeating it again for emphasis. That's right. Everybody in the league is sick, 6 words that cut straight to the core of everything, perfectly capturing what so many were thinking but hesitant to say out loud. The jealousy toward Clark that had simmered all season in the WNBA was suddenly called out, loud and clear, and the moment felt like a turning point, with Clark fully embracing her role as both competitor and leader, even while injured. She was at the heart of the celebration, caught on video using the Commissioner's Cup trophy as a playful chalice and calling out rookie Michaela Timpson to join the fun, embodying the spirit of a team that had embraced an us versus the world mentality and rode it all the way to a stunning, unforgettable victory. This win proved the Fever could succeed even when the entire world expected them to fail. Pre-game media narratives were completely shattered, with ESPN even pre-scheduling a video titled "Lynx Dominate Fever to Win Commissioner's Cup" that had to be quickly scrapped after the upset, a perfect example of just how shocking this outcome truly was. To their credit, the Minnesota Lynx showed real class in defeat, with head coach Cheryl Reeve admitting, "They just sort of beat us," acknowledging the Fever's strength and execution, respect from the defending Commissioner's Cup champions that spoke volumes about what Indiana had earned. This is a team that just showed it's built not just for now, but for 2025 and beyond, proving they have the depth, heart, and character to win even without their biggest star. And once Caitlin Clark returns healthy, they become outright dangerous, because this victory wasn't just a game, it was a bold, undeniable statement about rising above adversity, injury, and doubt, and showing the world what true champions are made of.
You know, it's not a WNBA championship, but to celebrate a championship nonetheless on Target Center on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, we have a resilient group. You know, they're tough mentally, physically. They pull for one another. You know, I don't know if it's something that I learned that I didn't already know. It's just I'm proud for them that they can see it come to fruition. Being able to handle the ebbs and flows of the game, being able to give to one another regardless of struggles. I mean, we had some players that were struggling. We had some moments where we struggled, but we still gave to one another. And that's a growth area for our team. I felt like our execution through 3 quarters on both ends of the floor was really good against an outstanding team. I mean, I'm just really proud of this.
The Indiana Fever just showed the entire WNBA what happens when you count out a team fueled by heart and determination. They proved that championship DNA runs deeper than any one player, as Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Ari McDonald, and the entire roster rose to the occasion when it mattered most. This victory makes it clear that 2025 is going to be something special for this group, and when Caitlin Clark returns healthy, they become absolutely unstoppable, because now they know they can win without her, which makes them even more dangerous with her back on the court. If you're riding with the Fever, comment, "I've got the Fever," like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out, and click the video on your screen. We'll see you in the next one.